Jamaican national charged with capital murder in St. Lucian security guard killing. A Jamaican man is facing a capital murder charge in St. Lucia following the fatal shooting of a 27-year-old security guard during an attempted supermarket robbery. The accused has been identified by police as Javier Cleveland Bailey, a Jamaican national who was arrested as part of the investigation into the January 19 killing of Christian Biscom. The incident occurred at a supermarket in Castries, where Biscom was employed as a security officer. According to authorities, the fatal shooting took place during an attempted armed robbery at the business premises. Bailey was subsequently apprehended and formally charged with capital murder in connection with Biscom's death. Bailey appeared before the First District Court on Wednesday, where he was remanded into custody, while his next court date has not yet been publicly announced. Police confirmed that another suspect is also in custody, and the investigation remains active as law enforcement continues to search for additional accomplices believed to be involved in the crime. The killing has drawn significant attention in St. Lucia, a nation where violent crime, particularly homicides linked to robbery, has been a persistent concern. The fact that the accused is a non-national also highlights the cross-border nature of some serious criminal activities in the Caribbean region. Capital murder is among the most serious charges in St. Lucian law and can carry severe penalties, including the possibility of life imprisonment. The case is expected to proceed through the judicial system under close scrutiny. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has urged anyone with information related to the case or the whereabouts of other suspects to come forward. Doctor remanded in multi-million-dollar bank fraud case. A medical doctor stood before the St. Catherine Parish Court on Thursday, facing allegations of orchestrating an elaborate multi-million-dollar loan scam. Dr. Chloe Duet, who also uses the alias Peter Gay Coke, was remanded into police custody until March 13, 2026, on a series of fraud and firearm-related charges. The case, which has sent ripples through Jamaica's financial and professional circles, centers on an alleged attempt to defraud the National Commercial Bank of $79 million. Acting Senior Parish Court Judge Janelle Nelson Gale ordered the remand after the court was informed that the accused must first be fingerprinted as part of procedural requirements. According to allegations presented by the clerk of court, the scheme unfolded between September and October 2025. Dr. Duet allegedly applied for the substantial loan at the Fairview branch of NCB in Montego Bay. To support her application, she reportedly submitted a suite of documents, including a land valuation report, a job letter, and bank statements. All documents bore the name Peter Gay Coke of Beverly Hills, an alias the prosecution directly links to the accused. The plot allegedly came to a head on January 13, 2026, when Duet returned to the bank to finalize the loan transaction. It was at this point that bank security personnel detained her and subsequently handed her over to the police. A pivotal element of the investigation involves the defendant's use of two names. Police reported that a folder in Duet's possession at the time of her detention contained several identification cards bearing both Chloe Duet and Peter Gay Coke. Following her initial detention, further investigations and a question and answer session led to her formal arrest and charges. The charges against Dr. Duet are severe and multiple: conspiracy to defraud, uttering forged documents, demanding property by forged documents, and an additional charge of failure to secure a firearm. During the court proceedings, the defense signaled its intention to seek bail. Attorney-at-law Peter Champagny, King's Counsel, who represents Duet, informed the court that he required full disclosure of the case file from the prosecution to properly prepare a bail application on his client's behalf. The court's decision to remand the accused underscores the seriousness with which the judiciary is treating the matter. The case has been adjourned with Dr. Chloe Duet ordered to remain in police custody until her next court date in March 2026, when legal arguments, including the anticipated bail application, are expected to be heard. The allegations paint a picture of a sophisticated fraud attempt on one of Jamaica's leading financial institutions involving forged documents and a suspected false identity. As the case progresses, it will likely scrutinize the mechanisms of loan verification and the challenges banks face in preventing sophisticated financial crimes. Unidentified man killed, officer injured in chaotic confrontation. A harrowing afternoon on Caledonia Road in Mandeville ended in bloodshed and unanswered questions Thursday after police opened fire on an unidentified man they described as being of unsound mind, leaving him dead, and one of their own officers seriously injured. The chaotic and tragic chain of events began around 3:30 p.m., shattering the ordinary bustle of the commercial area. According to police reports, the man, whose name and history remain a mystery, barricaded himself inside a house before launching a barrage of stones at workers in a nearby furniture store. Frightened citizens seeking refuge from the unexpected assault placed frantic calls to the police. When a team of officers arrived on the scene, they were reportedly met with renewed violence. The man, still ensconced in the house, allegedly turned his aggression toward the lawmen, hurling stones with what witnesses described as terrifying force. The situation escalated violently when one officer was struck squarely in the head by a projectile. Colleagues watched as he collapsed to the ground, injured and incapacitated. In the tense and fractured moments that followed, members of the police team discharged their weapons. Their gunfire hit the man, ending the standoff in the most final way possible. Emergency services rushed both the wounded officer and the gravely injured man to the nearby Mandeville Regional Hospital. There, the unidentified assailant was pronounced dead. The policeman, whose identity has also not been released, remains under medical care for a significant head injury. The incident leaves a community in shock and the investigation shrouded in heavy silence. The central figure, the deceased man, is known only by his actions in his final frantic hour. Authorities have not released a description, speculated on a possible mental health condition, or indicated if he was known to local services. Key questions linger unanswered in the aftermath. What precipitated the man's initial distressed behavior, and if any non-lethal methods of de-escalation attempted before the fatal shots were fired. The Jamaica Constabulary Force's standard operating procedure for engaging with individuals in mental health crises is likely to come under scrutiny. The Independent Commission of Investigations has been notified and is expected to conduct its own independent review of the circumstances that led to the dual tragedies, one life ended and another forever altered. For the residents of Mandeville, the event is a stark reminder of the volatile intersection between law enforcement, public safety and mental health. A confrontation that, on a sunny Thursday afternoon, ended with 2 stretchers being carried into the same hospital and a community awaiting answers. Alleged crime figure killed in police-involved shooting in St. James. A man known locally by the alias Satan was fatally shot during a confrontation with police in a St. James community on Wednesday morning, law enforcement sources have confirmed. The deceased has been identified by police as Jamoy Johnson, a person of interest in multiple serious offenses, including several murders, according to a senior police source who spoke on condition of anonymity. The shooting occurred after a team of officers carried out an operation in the Norwood area. While authorities confirmed an exchange led to Johnson's death, specific details regarding what sparked the confrontation have not yet been released by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The deceased is a person of interest in a number of offenses, including murders, the police source stated, though no further elaboration was provided on the immediate circumstances that resulted in the use of lethal force. Residents of Norwood reported hearing gunfire in the early hours, but expressed limited surprise given Johnson's alleged notoriety. One longtime resident who asked not to be named described the area as generally peaceful but acknowledged awareness of Johnson's reputation. The police have launched a standard internal investigation into the shooting. In accordance with protocol, when an individual dies as a result of police action. Independent oversight bodies are expected to review the case as the investigation proceeds. St. James has, in recent years, been a parish grappling with serious crime, prompting heightened police operations. Incidents involving persons of interest often draw public and media scrutiny, particularly regarding the use of force and the circumstances leading to fatal encounters. As of Wednesday afternoon, the police have not issued an official statement naming Johnson or detailing the offenses for which he was a person of interest. The Independent Commission of Investigations has been notified of the incident and is expected to make an initial assessment in the coming days. Dancehall artist Skillibeng has tasted mainstream success with songs including Crocodile Teeth Remix and as a featured act on Tyler's 2024 hit Jump, which also features American rapper Gunna. Crocodile Teeth Remix has been certified silver in the United Kingdom, while Jump has racked up a platinum certification in South Africa, gold in the United States, New Zealand, Canada, and in Brazil, and silver in the UK. Last year, Skillibeng and Shense were featured on Molly and Silent Addy's global monster hit, Shake It to the Max remix. The song, which dented multiple major charts globally, including the UK and the US Billboard charts, has been certified gold in New Zealand, Greece, the UK, and platinum in France. Skillibeng says the success of the song has been one of the major highlights of his career over the past year. The artiste has kicked off the new year with new music. His latest single, So Phenomenal, released this week, was produced by his longtime producer Gotti Bling Music, who produced his first hit song.